My ex used me for 5 years while I paid all her bills, then left me for a rich guy. Now she's homeless and begging to come back. I'm a 30-year-old guy, and for most of my adult life, I've been the kind of man people describe as too nice for his own good, the kind who holds doors open, remembers birthdays, and pays the tab even when he shouldn't. That's probably why I didn't hesitate when Emily showed up in my life, all wide eyes and broken smiles, claiming her ex left her with nothing. She was 24 then, sleeping on her friend's couch, crying during phone calls, struggling to find stable work. We met through a mutual friend at a party, and she latched onto me fast, said I was the only one who made her feel safe. I told myself I was helping someone rebuild. I didn't realize I was becoming her foundation. 3 weeks after we started dating, I let her move into my apartment. Rent wasn't cheap, but I figured we'd split things once she got a job.
Only that job never came. Not really.
She worked for 2 months at a bakery and quit because the manager was toxic. I didn't push.
I didn't want to be controlling. I just picked up extra shifts. She had an anxious laugh that made you want to protect her.
And every time bills came up, she'd stroke my arm and say, "I promise I'll pay you back once I get my life together." So I covered the rent, the groceries, her car repairs, even her student loans when the collectors started calling. I told myself it was temporary.
That this was love, but deep down, something didn't feel right.
She never asked how my day was.
Never offered to help.
And still, I kept giving. Because when someone says they need you and you believe it, it's easy to mistake dependence for devotion, and I hadn't even begun to see what she was really capable of. By the end of year 1, Emily had fully adapted to the role of a stay-at-home girlfriend, minus the girlfriend part. She slept in most days, spent hours scrolling TikTok, and always seemed exhausted, though from what, I still don't know. I'd come home from work with sore feet and a fried brain, and she'd barely look up. No, how was your day? No dinner, not even a damn hug. Instead, I'd find Amazon boxes at the door. Skincare, throw pillows, LED mirrors, must-haves for her healing journey. Always bought with my credit card. She called it retail therapy, but for me it felt like financial death by 1,000 cuts. One day, I gently asked, "Do you think maybe you could chip in a little, even just the Wi-Fi bill?" She blinked at me like I'd slapped her. "Oh, so now I'm a burden?"
She snapped.
"Wow, I thought you supported me."
I guess not. I stood there, stunned, heart pounding, watching her face morph from victim to villain in a second.
And then came the tears, big, dramatic sobs. She locked herself in the bedroom for hours, said I'd triggered her abandonment issues, said I was just like her ex. I apologized for asking her to pay a bill. After that, I never brought it up again. What's worse is that my friends started noticing. "Dude, why is she never working? Why does she treat your place like a spa? You okay?"
But I defended her every time. I said she was struggling.
That she just needed time. That she'd been hurt before and I wasn't going to be another man who gave up on her. And the whole time, she was giving up on me, bit by bit, day by day. I just didn't know it yet. I started to notice the patterns, but I couldn't admit them out loud, not even to myself. Every time I voiced concern, she flipped it on me. If I asked about the job applications she claimed to be filling out, she'd say, "Why are you pressuring me? Don't you think I feel bad enough?" And somehow, I'd be the one apologizing. That was Emily's real gift, not love, not loyalty, but guilt. She had a way of making me feel like the villain for expecting the bare minimum.
Like the time I mentioned how much I was spending on groceries.
She scoffed and said, "You make it sound like I'm just here to eat. Do you even want me here?" I panicked and said, "Of course I do." And just like that, the conversation ended with me feeling like a monster, and her scrolling DoorDash for sushi I couldn't afford. One night, I found myself sitting in my car outside our apartment for nearly 30 minutes after work, just breathing, dreading walking in,
Dreading the cold silence.
or worse, the sudden bursts of fake affection when she wanted something, She'd cling to me some nights, call me her savior, stroke my hair and whisper,
"I don't know what I'd do without you." It should have felt good. But it didn't. It felt like a sedative. A slow, sweet lie that kept me from leaving. She never asked about my stress, never offered help when I came home burnt out.
but if I forgot to grab oat milk from the store, it was a full-blown meltdown. I wasn't in a relationship. I was in a hostage situation wrapped in romantic language, and I was too deep in it to see the exit. I didn't notice the shift at first. It started with her dressing up more,
Makeup just to go to the corner store.
long nights out with friends I'd never met. I remember asking who she was hanging with, and she'd laugh it off. Don't be that guy. You're not insecure, are you? It was a trap. Every question felt like walking on glass. Then came the gifts.
A new bracelet, high-end makeup kits.
A gym membership.
I knew I hadn't paid for them, and Emily sure as hell wasn't earning.
When I asked, she said they were collab freebies from a skincare brand she was trying to be an influencer for. I wanted to believe her. God, I needed to believe her. But something inside me stirred. That gut feeling you ignore because the truth might burn down everything you built. One night, she left her phone on the couch while she was in the shower. I didn't want to snoop, but the screen lit up. Zane, dinner again tomorrow? Same suite? My chest tightened.
Hands shaking, I scrolled.
Dozens of messages, flirty, intimate, photos. She wasn't just seeing someone. She was involved. I remember sitting there frozen as the water ran in the bathroom, like I'd just watched my life get hijacked in real time. When she came out, wrapped in a towel and humming, I asked her straight up, "Who's Zane?" She didn't flinch. She just shrugged. Someone who actually knows how to treat me. No apology. No shame, just a smirk.
Like I was the fool for not seeing it sooner. That night, I didn't sleep,
She curled up next to me like nothing had happened,
and I laid there, numb, staring at the ceiling.
wondering how long I'd been sleeping beside a stranger. 2 days later, she was gone. No fight,
No dramatic scene.
just a single sentence while I was tying my shoes for work. "I'm moving in with Zane." I looked up, thinking she was joking, but her suitcase was already packed. I asked, "Are you serious?" She rolled her eyes. "You'll be fine. You always land on your feet." That was it. No thank you for the years I covered her rent, her bills, her life.
No closure.
Just a shrug and a ride, waiting outside with hazard lights blinking. I watched her walk out carrying the hoodie I bought her on our first road trip, without a glance back. It was like I had been erased, replaced by a man with a 6-figure crypto portfolio and a beach view condo. The apartment felt cavernous without her, but not in the way you'd expect. Not like a missing piece. More like a toxin had been extracted, and I was left with the sickness. In the following days, I kept finding reminders. A half-used shampoo bottle. Her broken phone charger.
A necklace I'd given her for our second anniversary, left behind like it meant nothing. And then the bills came. Overdue notices, streaming service charges.
A parking ticket registered in my name because the car was under my insurance. Even when she left, her mess stayed behind. Just like she had for 5 years. My friends tried to cheer me up.
You're better off. She didn't deserve you. You dodged a bullet. But it didn't feel like that. It felt like I'd been gutted quietly over time. And now, finally emptied, I was left to stitch myself back together. Alone, and I had no idea just how deep the damage really went. A week after she left, I got a call from my bank.
I figured it was about a pending transaction or maybe the overdraft I was barely avoiding. But the woman on the line sounded tense. "Sir, we're calling about your joint credit account ending in 2247. It's been flagged." My stomach dropped. I never opened a joint account. Turns out Emily did.
Months ago,
She'd forged my digital signature using saved passwords on our shared laptop. Maxed it out. $200 in designer purchases, hotel stays, luxury dining.
all under my name. I couldn't breathe. I argued. I begged.
But the bank wouldn't budge.
My name was on the application. My responsibility.
They even sent me the application file. The digital signature was a perfect match. because she'd used one of mine from a scanned lease form. I sat in silence with the PDF open, heart racing, throat dry. This wasn't just emotional betrayal. It was legal financial theft done behind my back by the woman I supported for 5 years. I texted her. Me? You opened a credit card under my name? Emily, calm down. It was temporary.
I was going to pay it back, Emmy. With what money?
Your sugar daddies? Emily, don't be petty. You were always controlling.
Maybe now you'll learn. That's when I realized I wasn't dealing with someone who made a mistake.
I was dealing with someone who never planned to stay. The eviction notice came a few days later. Rent was late. Again. I was drowning in bills, working double shifts, eating ramen just to survive. And for the first time in years, I couldn't hide it. I broke down in the middle of my own damn kitchen, slid down the cabinet doors and cried until my shirt was soaked. I wasn't just broke.
I was broken, and the worst part?
I still hadn't hit rock bottom. I don't remember exactly what pushed me to fight back. Maybe it was the debt collectors calling at 7 a.m., or maybe it was the night I skipped dinner so I could afford rent. But something inside me finally snapped, and not in anger. In clarity, I cancelled every card with her name tied to it.
Froze my credit.
Filed a fraud claim with the bank, even though they warned it might take months to resolve. Then I sold our couch, her couch, the one she guilted me into buying for her mental health, and replaced it with a $50 second-hand one from Craigslist. It was lumpy, ugly, but it was mine. I started Ubering after work, picking up late-night rides to scrape together extra cash. Sometimes I wouldn't get home till 2 a.m., fingers stiff from holding the wheel. But each mile felt like reclaiming a piece of myself. I joined a support group for men recovering from toxic relationships. I was the first to speak up one night. My voice shook, but the words poured out like floodwater. By the end, a guy next to me just nodded and said, "Same, man." Turns out I wasn't alone. I stopped checking her social media, stopped asking mutual friends for updates, deleted old photos, all of it. The grieving didn't happen all at once, it came in waves. Some days I felt free.
Other days I felt like an idiot, but at least I felt again.
And for once, those feelings didn't revolve around her. Therapy helped too. Not the breakthrough kind they show in movies, but the slow, uncomfortable kind where you sit in silence for 10 minutes before whispering,
I think I let her walk all over me because I thought that was love. And the therapist just nodded like that made perfect sense. I wasn't healed. Not yet. But I was no longer bleeding for someone who never bothered to clean the knife. 6 months passed. Life was still hard, but quieter.
No random drama at midnight, no passive-aggressive sighs when I came home late. Just peace.
Raw and unfamiliar, but real. Then out of nowhere, a mutual friend, Cara, texted me. Cara, bro.
You seen Emily's Insta lately?
No, why?
Cara, she's spiraling.
Zane dumped her. Bad. I shouldn't have checked.
But I did. Her page was a mess. Gone were the polished captions about manifesting abundance. Now it was cryptic stories, blurry selfies, rants about fake people, and one video of her crying in a car saying, "No one ever stays."
They always use me. I stared at the screen, stunned. Zane, the crypto dude she left me for, had apparently lost everything.
Turns out he wasn't some tech genius. He was just lucky for a few months and reckless with the rest. When his tokens tanked, so did the lifestyle. Emily had moved to LA with him, burned bridges here, and now she was broke, stranded, and sleeping on a friend's futon. Karma should have felt satisfying, but it didn't. It just felt hollow. I'd spent years carrying her weight. Now she was finally feeling the gravity of her own choices, and I didn't even need to lift a finger. She posted a reel the next day. It was her, barefoot on the beach, holding a quote card that said, "Sometimes we lose the ones who loved us most because we didn't love ourselves enough." The comments were brutal.
I didn't join in. I just watched. For years, I would have jumped in to defend her. Now I was just done, not angry.
Not bitter, just free, and I had no idea she was about to come knocking again. It was a Thursday night when I got the text. Simple, quiet, familiar in a way that made my stomach twist. Emily. Hey!
I've been thinking about you. Can we talk?
I stared at it for a full 10 minutes, typed out why now,
And deleted it.
typed no, deleted that too. I didn't reply. The next evening, she showed up. I was walking out of work, keys in hand, when I saw her sitting on the curb by the parking lot, hood up, eyes puffy, arms wrapped around her knees like a child waiting to be picked up. Hey, she said, voice small.
I didn't know where else to go. I didn't say a word.
Just stood there, letting the silence stretch between us like a canyon. She looked awful, not in the petty, judgmental way, just exhausted. Her once perfect lashes were clumped with old mascara. Her hoodie looked borrowed. Her shoes had holes in them. Zane left, she said finally. Took the lease, the car,
Everything.
I was sleeping on Sam's couch, but her boyfriend kicked me out.
I'm out of options. I wanted to feel cold. I wanted to slam the door in her face.
But standing there, all I felt was,
Numb. You said I'd be fine without you, I muttered.
you weren't wrong. Her lip trembled.
Please, just a few nights. I'll get a job, I swear. I've changed. It was the same voice she used when she first moved in all those years ago.
The same promises, the same desperation wrapped in softness. I told her I'd think about it, and then I turned and walked to my car without looking back. I didn't owe her rage,
I didn't owe her kindness.
and for the first time in years, I didn't owe her anything, but this story wasn't over, not yet. I agreed to meet her the next day. Public place, neutral ground, a little coffee shop near the park. I picked the table by the window, the one with the chipped corner and the flickering overhead bulb. It felt appropriate. She walked in slower this time. No makeup, hair tied back, a tote bag slung over her shoulder, heavy with something, I assumed everything she owned. She sat down across from me and whispered, "Thank you for meeting me." I didn't answer, just looked her in the eyes, waited. She exhaled, like she'd practiced this speech 100 times.
I know I hurt you, she said. I was scared. I thought money would fix everything. Zane had it.
You didn't. I chased the wrong things and I lost everything.
I see that now, I nodded.
Not in agreement, just acknowledgement. Like someone checking off a box on a form. You used me, I said flatly, for 5 years. Lied to me, drained me. And when I was empty, you left. Tears welled up in her eyes.
I didn't mean to. Yeah, you did. I leaned forward. You didn't trip and fall into a 5-year scam, Emily. You chose it.
You built it. You benefited from it. And then you walked away like I was nothing. She sniffed, wiping her face. I have nowhere else.
No one else. I'm not asking to be your girlfriend. Just help. Please. For a second, I saw the old version of her.
The girl I met. The one who pretended to be fragile so I'd pick up her pieces. I shook my head. No, she blinked.
No? You need help?
But not from me. Go to a shelter. Call a friend. Apply for a job. Just don't come back here like I'm your reset button. I stood, left a $10 bill on the table, and turned toward the door. She didn't follow. She just sat there, quiet, small, and finally powerless. And for the first time in 5 years, I walked away without looking back. It's been a year since that day in the cafe. I still remember the way the sun hit the table, the weight of the air between us, the silence that finally said everything I never could. She didn't reach out again after that, not directly. I'd see the occasional "miss you" post on her story, vague quotes about regret and second chances, always aimed at no one and everyone. But I never replied.
I didn't need to.
These days, my life is quieter. Not perfect, but mine. I live in a modest one-bedroom apartment across town. The couch is second-hand, the kitchen's always a little messy, but there's peace in every corner. I started dating again, slowly, cautiously.
Eventually I met someone.
Her name's Lara. She's kind in a way that doesn't beg for attention. She listens. She works hard. She once brought me soup when I was sick without me even asking, and that alone felt revolutionary. We split bills. We cook together. We laugh together, the kind of normal I thought only existed in movies. Sometimes I catch myself waiting for the chaos, wondering when the silence will turn heavy or the kindness will become currency. But it never does, because she's not Emily, and I'm not that guy anymore. I still see bits of the old me in mirrors, still hear echoes of the man who said yes when he meant no, who gave when he had nothing left. But I forgive him. He just wanted love. He just didn't know what it was supposed to look like, and now?
I didn't need revenge. I didn't need karma to do its thing. All I needed
Was to choose me again, and the peace that followed has been louder than anything she ever screamed. Last week I stopped at a gas station just off the highway. It was late, raining, and I had just finished a weekend trip with Lara. She was asleep in the passenger seat, wrapped in a hoodie, mouth slightly open, peaceful in a way that made me smile. I stepped inside to pay for gas, and that's when I saw her. Emily. She was standing near the vending machines, hair damp from the rain, hoodie pulled tight, staring blankly at a can of energy drink. Her backpack was on the floor beside her, torn, overstuffed. She looked thinner, smaller, like someone who hadn't eaten a real meal in days. She turned and saw me, our eyes locked for a split second, and then she looked away, fast, pretending to study the nutrition facts on a bag of trail mix she clearly wasn't going to buy. I didn't say a word, didn't approach, just paid for my gas and walked back out into the night. But before I left, the clerk behind the counter whispered, "She's been hanging around here for a week. Says she's waiting on a ride that never shows." I nodded, said nothing because that wasn't my story anymore. The twist came a few days later. Over dinner with Kara, she dropped it casually over spaghetti. "Did you know Zane never even had real money? He borrowed most of it, ran a bunch of short-term crypto scams. She left you for a mirage. It hit me all at once. She hadn't just left me for a rich guy. She'd left me for a fantasy, and in chasing it, she burned down the only safe place she ever had." I used to think closure would come with some big final moment, a confrontation, an apology, a public downfall, but it didn't. It came in a gas station parking lot, under flickering lights, while the woman who once used me stood too ashamed to speak, and I just drove away with peace in my chest, love beside me, and nothing left to prove.